Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. My name is Charlotte, and in an attempt to save some money this month and to eat what I have in my pantry, I am trying to meal prep and first go through the items that I have in my pantry, although I did have to go to the grocery store to fulfill some of the stuff, some of the meals. So I will have a grocery haul a little bit later. I'm just not quite sure where it will be in the video because I'm still in the process of editing this video. So I am starting off with my Asian theme food meal basically, and I am prepping some Chinese eggplants and whatever cauliflower I had left in the freezer, and I am going to put them on this baking sheet and get them prepped for roasting. I basically just did oil, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper on there, and I can't remember if I used olive oil or avocado oil, but it was one of the oils. And then I will be making fried rice, and I'm adding some black beans that I had in my pantry, and then also adding 3 eggs into it and some mozzarella cheese into the fried rice as well. And then on top of all of that, once we get it done, there will be some kimchi added into it. I went through 1 jar of kimchi, and I still have another one in the freezer or in the refrigerator that has not been opened yet, so I will have to think of another meal that will involve the kimchi. But I am getting this all prepared and everything, and then I will be making some tuna casserole a little bit later and some bratwurst and sauerkraut, my German theme food. So I have Asian, American, German, yeah, and I am still thinking that I have some other ones. I also have soups that I will be pulling out because I have a bunch of soups in my deep freezer. I believe I had 9 different soups, so 3 tomato basil and 6 of, no, I think I had more than that. It might have been 12 jars of soup. There's more minestrone soup than there was tomato basil. So I am adding those into the mix as well, and that's what I think makes this meal go out to like 3 weeks, or this meal prep go out for 3 weeks. So I'm trying to extend as far as possible. I started filming this, I believe, on the 6th or 9th of September. I just can't remember. It was one of the Saturdays. So I am meal prepping everything, but I will be back a little bit later to tell you what all I am putting into the tuna casserole. But that is basically what is going on. I'm trying to save some money. I'm trying to eat through my unhealthier food options to prepare for eating a little bit healthier in October.
Did you know you shine?
Now that I've enjoyed one of the meals for lunch, I had that fried rice for lunch, and now I'm gonna go ahead and meal prep tuna casserole. And first I am heating up water with pink Himalayan salt for the rice, and then once I add the rice, once I rinse and add the rice, I will be putting in some onions and some mixed vegetables in with the rice, so that way they can kind of boil and cook at the same time that I am cooking the rice. And then once the rice is almost all the way cooked, like almost all of the water is gone, I will add in a can of tuna that is drained and also a can of cream of mushroom soup to it. And then I will add in garlic and onion powder and pepper and all of that type of seasoning into it as well. And then I will be sauteing up some green beans and some more frozen onions in the other pan, and I will add garlic and maybe onion powder to that as well, so that way I get some more veggies into all of this.
'Cause it's just my habit, and I can't describe it. And she can talk about it like it's magic, the way that she loves my habits. I'm good, giving her compliments. I'm yours if you need a friend, yeah, yeah. Fake one, staying out till the end. Yeah, I know how to play pretend. Tell me, how do I get inside? Open up your mind. In this I know how to win a fight, Cause it's just my habit, and I can't describe it. And she can talk about it like it's magic, the way that she loves my habits. Just my habits, and I can't describe it. And she can talk about it like it's magic, the way that she loves my habits. I will never get it right. I still have you on my side, staying night after night. Cause you're mine. Cause it's just my habit, and I can't describe it. And she can talk about it like it's magic, the way that she loves my habits. Just my habits, and I can't describe it. And she can talk about it like it's magic, the way that she loves my habits.
I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again. But life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running to better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times. To better times, to better times. Remember I was laughing in all the photos that you took, but now it looks like acting, like we were fiction in a book. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I move on. I got it, I gotta go, running to better times. Go, from my emotions. I'll go, running to better times, 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 to better times. I look to the left, look to the right. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me in the night.
It is the next day, and I'm going to be working on the potato pancakes first. So I went through my bag of potatoes and pulled out all the ones that were growing and threw those away, and I just didn't want to test them. So I've washed these potatoes, and I am now peeling them as much as I can. I'm not going to peel them all completely because I just didn't want to deal with it. And then I will cut them up into smaller pieces, and I'm going to attempt to use this new attachment that I got for my, what is it, the blender, not blender, the mixer. I can't have words. The mixer, to basically, the recipe calls for you to shred the potatoes and shred the onions. So this worked fairly well on the potatoes. However, the potatoes have been sitting in my pantry for a while, and then I moved them to the refrigerator because they had started growing. So I was putting them in the refrigerator to kind of stop some of the growth. And so the potatoes were kind of on the soft side. So if these were fresher potatoes, the shredder would have worked perfectly well. So, but this is my first time using it, so it is kind of a learning curve, and you'll see here where I'm like, oh wait, I have to put this the certain way. So it did work fairly well. It did not work on the onion as well because of course that has all the layers, so you'll see me attempt to do it, and then I finally pull it out and just start chopping the onion. And I am only halving the recipe, so this recipe kind of called for 2 pounds of potatoes and a whole onion, and I just had enough potatoes for like half of the recipe, and I had half an onion as well. And you see I'm struggling with this onion because it just wasn't getting stuck, or it was getting stuck in there, so we have to attempt it. But I found this recipe online, so I will, all the recipes that I actually used, I will leave down in the description box links for them. So from here, I'm gonna add in flour, egg, and salt. I think that's everything that went into that to make it a potato pancake. And then you put it on the stove and actually make them like pancakes. You know, you put them on the stove and just let them sit there, and then flip them over and cook the other side. And I'm putting the attachment on upside down, and I realize what I'm doing here shortly. And then I will then start making the sauerkraut and bratwurst mixture. And this actually ended up taking pretty much all afternoon to cook because I had way too much liquid in the sauerkraut because I did not drain the sauerkraut. I just dumped the whole jar in there, and then I added a full bottle of beer, so it did take a while to cook down, and the house smelled lovely. Really it did smell lovely. And I realized that I probably was getting drunk off the fumes that day, and because the beer was cooking off, so the alcohol was cooking off of the whole mixture. But I also throw the bratwurst in there and do all of that, and I add caraway seeds, brown sugar. I'm trying to think what else went into that. And then a little bit later, I will be making the German beet salad, and it is basically beets, and I had canned beets, and the recipe called for fresh beets, and then you cook them down, and so I just was like, I have the canned ones, that's what I'm going to use. and then you add in some vinegar and oil, and then some caraway seeds. And that was pretty much, I mean, it actually isn't that bad. Most people don't like eating beets, and this actually didn't taste that bad. So I strongly recommend the beet salad. It does not have a strong beet flavor, but of course I was using canned beets, so I'm not sure if using fresh beets if it would have had a different flavor or not, but I did use 2 cans of canned beets.
You and I, we never show emotions, we just keep it down.
I hate sauerkraut jars that are this big. I don't know why I bought one this way, but it's mainly the reason why I hate them is because I can't get them open. I literally sat here and struggled with this for probably about 10 minutes trying to get the jar to open, and finally I was able to bang it hard enough and enough times on the counter that the lid literally popped off of the jar. And I don't recommend that. You might break the jar, but that was what I was doing. I was not like throwing it against the counter, but I was definitely hitting it enough, and the jar finally did open up. But I always struggle. I tend to pop my ribs out, and I was already having a hand issue with this on this day. A flare up where my ligaments and tendons in my hand were hurting on this day, and I had bruised my hand the previous day on doing yard work. So yeah, it was not the best thing, and here I am saying how happy I was to get it off and how frustrated I am and all of that stuff. But basically with the bratwurst, I first sear them in the pan, brown them, and do that type of stuff, and I try to get all the sides, but because they're bratwurst and they kind of are curved, it's difficult to get that, so I try to get it as best as possible. But they will cook, and because they sat in the pan all day, pretty much all afternoon, they cooked all the way through. So but yeah, here we will be adding the sauerkraut shortly, and then all the other stuff as well. I think I also add in some dry mustard into this. I'm trying to recall the recipe. Again, it will be in the description box down below.
Could grow just like the flowers through the concrete. Just you and me. Just let go.
And another thing that I struggled to get open was the Heineken bottle, and that was because my bottle opener is somewhere probably underneath or behind the refrigerator, because you know my lovely cats like to knock things around, and I just haven't been able to go and find the bottle opener. So I'm trying to figure out what I have around my house, and I found this paint can opener, and I was able to get the bottle of beer open. So another use for those paint can openers. So just so you're aware, you can open up a bottle of beer, and the Heinekens are not twist tops, so that's why you have to have a bottle opener. So next time I make this, I'm gonna have to first think about it and go and dig out that stupid bottle opener that the cats knocked off of the fridge at one point. So I added the beer. I'll add in some, I may have already added in the brown sugar. I think I added in about a half a cup, and it's not too sweet, but it's sweet enough. And while that is kind of working and doing everything, I'm gonna go ahead and move over to make the beet salad. And it really, again, is just really easy. I used 2 cans of beets, some apple cider vinegar, some sugar, and I think there's some oil in there as well, and salt, maybe salt, pepper, that type of stuff. So the recipe is really easy, especially if you're using canned beets, because it's good.
Now you're gone. And now I'm lost. Finally, I think I can see clearly now. I'm in love.
The recipe for the potato pancakes said not to let the mixture sit out for very long, so I decided I was going to go ahead and make those, and not realizing that the sauerkraut and bratwurst were going to take all afternoon. So I went ahead and just started cooking up the potatoes, and I just kind of, the recipe said it would make 8 pancakes, and since I halved it, I knew it was going to make at least 4, so I made them all a little bit smaller so that way I could have 1 pancake per bratwurst, and there were 5 bratwurst in the package, so that is what I am doing. So I'm going to go ahead and make those, and then I'll be back a little bit later once I have everything, once the liquid has cooked off the sauerkraut bratwurst mixture. I may make broccoli to go with this, but this is actually a fairly decent portion size. I mean, it's probably too much. So I'm gonna leave it as that, but I would honestly like to have some green in this, but I'm using what I have in my pantry. So I do have spinach in the pantry, so it might be something where I just add some fresh spinach into this, like eat just a fresh spinach salad type thing where there's nothing else added into it. Just for some greenery. But 5 more meals down. I can't wait to eat some of this for dinner. The sauerkraut tastes really good.
I wanna give you a million things, 'cause isn't love what it's all about? And how to make you smile again, something that I wanna figure out. I wanna catch you like every time that you fall. I wanna give you the world.
I just got back from physical therapy, and I went to the grocery store because I'm trying to meal prep for like the rest of this week into next week as well, and possibly the week after. Just depends on how much food I have. But as soon as I packed up my car and left the grocery store, it started raining. I have water hitting the vent pipe for the stove, water hitting, the wind is blowing the water here, so it's hitting that window. I have another cat on the counter. Jack, get off the counter. And, but I want to show you a quick grocery haul. It did cost $78, $79. There's change in there, so rounding up to 79. And the most expensive thing, of course, were the protein shakes, but those will last me pretty much the entire month because I drink maybe 1 a day, if even that. It just depends on how much coffee I'm drinking, and I use that as coffee creamer instead of milk or any of that type of stuff. The other expensive item was, of course, I bought beer for one of the things I was going to make. So let me go ahead and share with you guys what my haul is. Let me get the cat off the counter again. So beer, grapes, green onions, some spinach, cheddar cheese, applesauce, dessert for today, dinner for today. Not healthy, but I don't care. I've been good this entire week. The protein shakes, milk, some broccoli just because I think I might need an extra veggie in the meal stuff. Strawberries looked really good, so I bought them and hope to eat those with, like, I have some Eggos in the freezer, some beer brats, and that's one of the recipes I'm going to make, and then some eggs. Well, there's the grocery haul and the meal prep that I was able to do. I am still wanting to make some protein muffins, and I plan to do that tomorrow. And that is, it asks for almond milk. I don't have almond milk, but I do have powdered milk. And I used up all of the milk that I purchased in the grocery haul already. I made 2 batches of pudding yesterday, and basically what I do is I had a banana cream and a chocolate, and I like having them split up like that just because I don't like just having chocolate pudding. I like to have a little bit of extra flavor in there. So I did, first layer was the banana cream, then I added chocolate pudding on top of it. So both of those boxes called for 2 cups of milk, and I literally used up all of the milk yesterday. I mean, I had just a little bit extra to where I just dumped it into the chocolate pudding mix. So now I'm trying to think, with the protein muffins, I need milk for it. I have powdered milk. I just don't know if it's enough to make the 3/4 cup of milk that I need. I just thought of this. I said, oh, I'm going to eat cereal. I don't have any milk to eat the cereal with. Okay, maybe I need to make the protein muffins today. So definitely will try to not go to the grocery store until Friday, but I do have a list started for the grocery store, and one of them is bread, and I'm going to try to do the Ezekiel or the Dave's Best bread, one of the two. I'm just not quite sure which one I'm going to want. I'll make my decision when I'm at the grocery store. And then I also am going to get milk again. And then after that, in the freezer, I have fresh turmeric and ginger root. And I bought those a couple weeks ago to make the ginger turmeric shots or tea or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the shots. And that is, I needed lemons and oranges to go with that. And you add in pepper and water. I have those both here at the house. So that way, just to help build my immunity and inflammation and all of that type of stuff, I'm trying to do things a little bit more naturally. And hopefully that the turmeric will help with the ankle, Achilles stuff that it's doing much better, but sometimes it flares up. So add in a little bit of that as well. But yeah, so I'm trying to push until the end of this week, and I know I have enough meals to get me through Saturday the 23rd. I need to see how much will go into the following week, so I just need to wait. I know in the pantry I have a can of refried beans that I can use for a meal, like a Tex-Mex type meal, but I will need to buy some other ingredients to go with that, because the only other thing I have to go with refried beans is picante sauce. I have one tortilla, nothing else. So I do have corn flour though that I could make my own corn tortillas. Not the best, but definitely can figure it out myself. But I get ahead of myself. But yeah, so that is what is going on. I'm hoping that we can get as far into the next week with everything and just do a very small grocery haul, and trying to keep it to where it's like under $125 total and for this month on groceries, and that way that's $175 extra that I did not spend on groceries, and I can use that to pay off debt and all of that type of stuff. So that is the whole thing about doing this, is to make sure I'm staying under budget for most of my stuff this month and eat through the food that I have in my pantry to get rid of a lot of the unhealthier type of food. And that way I can start October fresh with a new meal plan and new diet. I don't want to say diet though. It's more of diet always sounds bad, so it's something healthier, you know. I'm just trying to control my levels and everything, and also focusing on portion control as well. A lot of the meals that I have made, my portions have been a little bit bigger than they really needed to be, so I'm gonna also focus the next time I meal prep to make my meals, the meal portions, the right size as it is. But I'm blabbering. Let's go ahead and end the video. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope that this video entertained you and just showing you on things that I am trying to make and cook through my pantry to save some money here and there. Thank you everybody, and have a wonderful week. Bye everybody.